my turn to take my dish to the judges. I'm proud of what I've done. I just hope that they see that I've really pushed myself today.
So, Sam, are you pleased with what you've produced?
Yes, for the most part. You may have seen that I took my puddings out of the oven about 7 or 8 minutes before 40 minutes. I did want to see how they were going.
Yep.
I took one out and it was a bit undercooked, so I had the rest in for the remaining 7 or 8 minutes.
Okay.
And I think, you know, the final product's decent.
Okay. And I noticed Kate was throwing down some advice to you.
Yes.
Did you need advice?
I do like to have the support of other people around me. It's just the sort of person that I am.
Did she give you good advice, do you think?
I hope so. I truly hope so. Yeah.
Nothing worse than taking the wrong advice.
It certainly is not.
Only got yourself to blame if that happens.
Absolutely true.
OK, Sam, thanks very much. You can go now.
Okay, enjoy. Thank you. If I have to go home today on the back of that, at least I go home on a high.
So, the praline looks a bit thick to me, but the pudding looks a nice shape. And I think the butterscotch sauce could be a little bit darker, but other than that, I think he's done a good job. You know what, that's really nice. Sam's done a good job in terms of baking the pudding, I think. And he was probably right to put it back in the oven when he did.
This is one of those sticky dates, if you like moist fruitcake, you're going to love. You're just going to love that kind of when it's a bit gooey in the middle.
That's delicious. Butterscotch sauce is just like, wow, you just want to go back for more and sort of feel sick because you've had too much.
And the praline's maybe marginally thick, but what he has managed to achieve, besides that beautiful colour, is a little bit of bitterness from taking that caramel just to the point where it's starting to turn. So it isn't just a big chunk of sugar, it's got a little bit of tang to it. You know, it's got to be said, the other guys are going to have to go it to surpass that, because that is a very fine example of a sticky date pudding with butterscotch sauce.
Sitting around waiting for the judges it's not fun. It gives you time to doubt yourself. It's all well and good to stay positive, but when you're looking down the barrel of an elimination, it's very tough.
Trevor, how do you think you went?
It tastes really nice. I think I did really well. I mean, there were a few teething problems. I screwed up when I used the brown sugar to make the praline. Luckily, I actually realised that it was way too brown in the pan. That cost me like 10 minutes, but I still managed to plate up, so happy.
Would your wife be happy with that?
I think she would. She would love it.
Did you have a little trouble taking the pudding out of the mould?
It's not something I've ever done before, so I did run a knife around it, but
yeah.
I don't think I did it, you know, as precisely as I probably should have.
OK.
Trevor, thank you.
Thank you. I know I cooked a good dish today. I know I can cook. I know I deserve to be here. So I just hope the judges can see that.
It looks good. I reckon he has had a little bit of trouble getting it out of the mould. You can just see where he's torn the pudding on the outside, certainly on one side, where he's popped the knife in and turned it round to turn the pudding out. Look, I can't pick between the two of them. So far, both of them are absolutely top-notch puddings.
Oh, it's wonderful. It's beautiful. The pudding's deep, it's rich. The caramel sauce has got this extra little bit of vibrance compared to the last one. Mate, they are delicious.
That butterscotch sauce is...
That's liquid gold.
It's amazing, isn't it? There's a very small difference, maybe 2 minutes in the pan that's got it a little bit darker, but it just lifts that sauce for me from being sweet to just having that kind of slightly, not quite caught, but almost caught, slightly kind of caramelly flavour, molassesy flavour. It's absolutely delicious. Wow, well, we've seen two quite amazing dishes.
I'm nervous. I'm nervous about what they'll say because, I mean, I find fault with my food, so they'll probably find something wrong with it, and I just have to wait and see.
Tom, you were worried about the praline. How did that work out?
I think it's a bit thick. I think if I had to do it again, I would have tried to make it thinner.
Do you think that's a good enough dish to carry you through?
I would hope so. I've seen the other two, and to be completely honest, I think it's going to be very close. I would like to think it's very close.
Tom, thanks a lot.
Thank you. I could be the one going home. I've accepted that, but I just have to wait and see.
The fact that he has tipped the pudding over and pulled the sauce onto the bottom as such rather than the crusty top, it's soaked right the way through, so it's really soft and really gooey, nice and sweet, really nice and datey as well.
Beautiful pudding, really well made. Caramel's delicious. If there's any criticism, it's just a tad paler than the last two.
Try that next, that's got more nuts in. When you bite that, it fractures, it shatters in your mouth. There's none of that sense your teeth are going to break. It just goes like that. And again, it's got that caramelly, burny flavour, which is beautiful. That's fantastic.
Beautiful.
Wow, this is going to be so close, huh? I mean, this has to be the closest pressure test we've had. It's going to be hard to decide who's going to go home.
So I think it's time to get them back in and talk to them.
The threat of elimination, the fact that you're cooking against two really, really good cooks in this competition, the fact that it's about you know, impressing the judges and beating those other two guys. I mean, it is very hard.
Well, gentlemen, our first all-male pressure test. To make it more interesting, two of you don't cook desserts. That's exactly what you've been asked to do. I think we're all surprised and also quite disappointed to find the three of you here, because we think you're amongst the best cooks in the competition.
We're going to have a chat to each of you and just find out where you're going and whether or not your ambitions and your dreams are still the same.
Sam, second time, mate.
I know.
What's going on?
I'm not cooking the food that I like to eat, and it's let me down, and it's caused me to probably lose a little bit of soul in my cooking.
Today, you're standing there with these two guys looking like they're on death row.
Yep.
And you're larking around, you're laughing, you're waving at your mates in the gallery. You're not taking the competition seriously?
When I'm like that, I cook better. I know I do. When I'm more relaxed, more jovial, that I do cook my best when I'm like that. Now, that might, you know, I've had comments before that might seem flippant. It's not. It's the right headspace for me to be in to cook my best.
Tom, you're a difficult one for us to get a handle on. It's really the time now to be quite vocal about what you want to achieve out of it and what you want to do, because I don't know.
I'm looking for a profession that gives me that passion where I can actually wake up, live, sleep, drink, eat my career. And in the last few months, that's crystallised in terms of food and my approach to food and thinking about food and talking about food and cooking. Because
What about your change of living from lawyer to lowly cook? I mean, cooks, you know, it comes from service industries.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking butlers and cooks in a big house,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
We're at the bottom end of town rather than the top end of town.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
Look, it doesn't worry me at all, because actually I've been into law because partly the status, the money, and the realisation is, look, actually, it's not all that you need in your profession or your career.
Trevor,
Sure.
you said you didn't want to go home today.
No, I don't.
Tell me why.
This competition for me is a massive learning experience. It has completely ignited my passion for food and for cooking. I thought that I loved it before, but this really has turned it on. There's probably only one other thing in my life that I consider as important, and that's my marriage.
You cooked the dish today for your wife, yeah?
Yes, I want to work with my wife in food. We both love to cook, we both love to serve people, we both love making people happy. It just seemed to be the natural progression to open a restaurant.
You know, it's a beautiful thing to serve people, but it's a really rotten thing when you get people saying, I came to your restaurant and I ate there and the food was terrible.
Yeah.
And you know, that's what happened to you yesterday, yeah?
Yeah, it was. I screwed up royally. I'm still beating myself up about that dish. It was a steak. How many times have I cooked and eaten a steak? I mean, it's absolute... Oh, I feel like suspending myself in the air with a series of uppercuts. I'm that upset with myself. Really pissed off. Sorry, it's just I can't get it out of my head.
It was a shocker.
It was absolutely appalling. There was no excuse for it, and if it sends me home, it's going to kill me. I don't think the judges could be any more disappointed than I am in myself at putting myself in this position.
So, tough decisions, of course, have to be made. Sam?
Eric?
Your pudding? Very nice. Did a good job. Nice and fluffy. Nice little cubic pieces of date. Really nice and tasty and jammy.
Okay.
Good job on that.
Thank you.
Caramel was a bit light.
Was it?
Praline was a little bit thick.
Okay.
Trevor, again, nice pudding. Really good butterscotch sauce. All three of us agreed that it was the best of the three.
Thank you very much.
But the pudding, when you turned it out, it was a bit rough. Nearly fell apart, used a knife. It was not as good as it could have been.
Yeah.
Tom, the praline that you made was by far the best out of all of them. Really crunchy, like glass. It was just really fantastic. You did a good job there.
We sat there and we thought if those 3 puddings had been put down on one table, we'd be hard-pressed to work out they'd been made by 3 different people. The quality was so good. And the sort of differences we're talking about, the thickness of the praline, the colour of the pudding, they're not the sort of thing any of us would have sent a pudding back for. They were that good. It was really impressive what you did, guys. Really impressive.
Thank you.
So that makes the decision even harder because you just proved to us that you should not be sitting here, having done the pressure test, with the potential of your dream being over, you're going home.
I am more nervous because maybe this is it. Maybe this is my time to die.
Tom, you're still in the competition. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you. I found out that I'm safe. I'm relieved. I'm happy because I'm actually staying in this competition. I don't feel that I'm ready to leave.
Trevor and Sam, it comes down to you two. It comes down to the dish that you cooked today. Trevor, you're still in the competition.
Oh, thank God. Sorry, man.
That's right.
Thank you, guys. I'm relieved. I think I buckled over in half and said, thank you, God. Yeah, no, I'm very, very happy. A little bit upset that Sam is the one who'll be going home, but yeah, ecstatic that I'm staying in the competition. Thank you. Thank you.
Sam,
Yep.
your dream has got to end,
I understand that.
but not today.
Oh, you're kidding.
No way.
You're still in the competition.
You little beauty. Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. That's a huge relief and a very, very proud moment. Oh,
So much.
oh, you beauty! Woo! Oh, my God.
What happened there?
We're in a situation where 3 great cooks. You put up 3 puddings that were so goddamn perfect. It was almost impossible to tell you apart, whether it's for the praline, the pudding, or that amazing butterscotch sauce. And we had the discussion that you're all allowed to make 1 mistake. In Sam's case, 2, obviously. And they want you to continue and have 1 more chance.
Thank you so much, guys.
Amazing.
Go back to the house. Let's see the look of surprise on some of their faces. Thank you very much. We'll see you again soon.